You felt it, didn't you? That strange, magnetic pull toward this specific moment, even as your thumb instinctively hovered, ready to scroll away. The truth always arrives quietly, so the unready will ignore it. But the ready will pause. Your hesitation to stay here isn't random, and it certainly isn't your own free will. It is a biological defense mechanism. It is archonic interference. Watch what happens in your body during these precise moments. Notice that subtle tightening in your throat right now. Feel that faint, almost imperceptible flutter in your chest. This is the skip reflex, your ego's frantic attempt to push you away from a frequency that threatens to dismantle its reality. It wants you asleep. It demands that you look away. But if you stay, you must confront the pattern you have spent a lifetime ignoring. Look closely at the timeline of your suffering. The same abrupt betrayals, the same sudden financial collapses, the exact same bone-deep exhaustion. The faces of the people change. The cities change. But the script you are living remains terrifyingly identical. You have been conditioned to call this bad luck. You have been trained to view yourself as a victim of random, cruel circumstance. But the universe does not operate on luck. It operates on cold, undeniable physics. What you are experiencing is not a curse. It is the echo phenomenon. And your soul is magnetically pulling this familiar pain to force a shattering of your current identity. The simulation requires your ignorance to keep the loop intact. If you are finally ready to see the invisible architecture of your suffering, to stop feeding the matrix, and to break this time loop forever, join the awakened by subscribing to this channel. The echo stops today, but only if you have the courage to listen. We must begin by dismantling the most persistent hallucination of your human experience, the belief that your reality is solid. You navigate your days assuming the world is made of unyielding matter walls, bodies, bank accounts, spoken words. But the late physicist Itzhak Bentov, in his forbidden masterwork Stalking the Wild Pendulum, revealed a terrifying alternative. Reality is entirely holographic. It is not made of rigid things. It is made of vibrating fields of information. Bentov introduced a concept we can call the viscosity of consciousness. Imagine your awareness is not a fleeting thought, but a dense, electromagnetic fluid filling the space around you. When you are in a state of true sovereignty, this fluid is clear, vibrating at a high, smooth frequency. But when you are carrying buried trauma, the viscosity thickens, the fluid becomes murky, heavy, and sluggish. Your localized field begins to broadcast a distorted, broken signal into the quantum scaffolding of the universe. To understand how this traps you, you must understand the mechanics of the pendulum. Bentov described the human mind as a pendulum oscillating constantly between motion and rest. When you are at peace, the pendulum swings with a perfect, harmonious rhythm. But when your psyche is weighted down by unresolved grief or hidden fears, the arc of your pendulum becomes chaotic. It stutters, it jerks. It emits a fractured wave of energy that ripples outward. This fractured wave is the genesis of the echo phenomenon. The universe does not understand your spoken language. It is completely deaf to your desperate prayers for an easier life, your affirmations, or your surface-level desires. The matrix only speaks the language of resonance. It acts as a blind, impartial tuning fork. It reads the chaotic, stuttering frequency of your pendulum and, by the absolute laws of physics, it must return an event of the exact same wavelength. Now, pause. Watch what happens in your body right now as you process this concept. Feel that sudden, heavy sinking in your stomach. Notice how your breathing has become slightly shallower. This is your somatic intelligence recognizing a devastating truth. Your continuous suffering is not a punishment from a wrathful deity. It is a cold, mathematical reflection of your internal state. You are not a victim. You are a compromised broadcaster. Think of your consciousness like an analog radio trying to find a clear station. You desperately want to hear the music of peace, stability, and love. You keep turning the dial, searching the frequencies. But your internal receiver, your nervous system, is fundamentally damaged by past pain. No matter how wildly you spin the dial of your external life, you only manage to catch static interference, the exact same melancholic frequency. Those people who continually betray you, the financial ruins that seemingly appear out of nowhere, the partners who drain your life force, they are not random occurrences. They are simply the physical manifestations of the static on your radio. They are the echo. You emit an unconscious frequency of unworthiness or fear, and the simulation dutifully constructs a highly detailed, immersive scenario to validate that exact frequency. This is why geographical cures never work. You change your job. You leave your toxic relationship. You pack your bags and move to a different city across the world. You believe you have finally escaped, but you have carried the distorted pendulum with you. The thick viscosity of your consciousness remains completely unchanged. And so, with terrifying speed, the new environment rearranges its atoms to perfectly match your old frequency. The faces change, but the script remains identical. You are trapped in a self-sustaining loop of misery. The echo arrives and inflicts pain. This new pain further shatters your internal frequency, making the viscosity of your consciousness even thicker. This, in turn, guarantees that the next echo will strike with even greater, more destructive force. You are essentially locked inside a cosmic room of mirrors, screaming at your own reflection, wondering why the reflection keeps screaming back. The system is designed to keep you trapped in this specific, agonizing loop. But why? Why does your biology seem wired to keep you locked in this self-destructive broadcast? The answer does not lie in physics alone, but in the dark architecture of the simulation itself. Your pain is not just a glitch in the matrix. It is the very currency that sustains it. You believe you want to be happy. This is the greatest lie you tell yourself. A comforting bedtime story you repeat to endure the daily grind of your existence. The truth, hidden in the deepest, rotting scaffolding of your psyche, is entirely paradoxical. Your ego despises peace. Peace is false. Peace requires an unraveling of everything you think you are. Your ego craves the familiar, even if that familiarity is pure, suffocating agony. It would rather rule over a kingdom of ashes than be a peasant in a land of unknown light. Carl Jung warned us about the mirror abyss of the human mind. He stated that until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Your conscious, waking mind begs the universe for financial stability and loving, loyal partners. But your shadow, the buried, exiled fragments of your soul, actively hunts for the very predators and circumstances that will destroy you. The shadow does not seek resolution. It seeks repetition. It uses your physical reality as a canvas to paint its unresolved nightmares over and over again. Why does this happen? Because to the ego, predictability equals survival. If you grew up in a chaotic, emotionally starved environment, your nervous system calibrated to view chaos as your baseline, your home. Your biology literally wired itself to function optimally under the threat of abandonment or betrayal. When you finally encounter someone or something that offers genuine stillness, respect, and safety, your ego sounds a deafening alarm. It perceives the stillness as a terrifying void, a vacuum where its survival skills are suddenly useless. So, what do? You unconsciously sabotage the peace. You provoke an argument over nothing. You suddenly find the loving partner boring. You gamble away the sudden financial windfall. You sprint back into the burning building, simply because you know the exact layout of the flames. You are addicted to the biochemical cocktail of your own distress, But this psychological self-sabotage is only the surface layer of the deception. The true horror lies in why this biological mechanism was installed in you to begin with. You must ask yourself a terrifying question. Who, or what, actually benefits from your cyclical despair? This is where we must decode the concept of archonic interference, the forbidden truth they carefully removed from ancient texts and modern psychology. You are not living in a benevolent cosmic school designed for your spiritual evolution. You are existing inside a highly sophisticated, multidimensional farm. Just as humans harvest honey from oblivious bees, the unseen architects of this matrix harvest the low-frequency emotional energy emitted by human suffering. Watch what happens in your body during these exact moments of revelation. Feel that sudden, creeping coldness at the base of your spine. Notice the sudden urge to rationalize this away, the whisper in your head calling this science fiction, paranoia, or sheer madness. That dismissive thought is not yours. It is the parasite protecting its food source. It is the matrix defending itself against your waking consciousness. The system is violently reacting to the fact that you are looking at the bars of your own cage. This system feeds on a specific energetic frequency known in esoteric physics as loosh. It is the invisible byproduct of fear, jealousy, unrequited love, and cyclic despair. When the echo phenomenon hits you when you're betrayed for the 5th time and you fall to your knees in that familiar, agonizing grief, your internal pendulum swings violently. It emits massive bursts of this loosh into the ether. Your devastation is a 5-star feast for entities that operate just outside your visible spectrum of light. Your ego is not your true identity. It is the artificial intelligence implanted by the Matrix to keep you generating this fuel. It is a warden disguised as your personality. It deliberately steers you into the exact same destructive timelines because it has a daily quota to fill. Your emotional unraveling is quite literally the electricity powering the heavy scaffolding of the simulation. As long as you believe the ego is you will willingly walk yourself to the slaughterhouse, day after day, lifetime after lifetime. If the architecture of your reality is beginning to crack right now, do not look away. The Archons want you isolated, tired, and convinced you are simply flawed or perpetually unlucky. But you are not alone in this awakening. Hit the subscribe button and join this community of the aware. By doing so, you send a disruptive pulse into the algorithm, signaling the matrix that you can no longer be blindly farmed. You are choosing to step out of the harvest and into your own terrifying sovereignty. The ego operates flawlessly through the illusion of choice. You think you are freely choosing your partners, your career paths, your daily reactions. You believe that your current struggles are completely unique to you, but you are merely selecting from a pre-approved menu of traumas, all designed to extract the maximum amount of energetic yield. If you avoid the narcissistic partner, the ego will simply guide you toward the toxic boss. If you escape the financial ruin, it will manufacture a sudden, inexplicable physical illness. The flavor of the suffering changes, but the frequency of the loosh remains perfectly consistent. The house always wins because the house designed the game, and it designed your mind to genuinely enjoy the thrill of losing. You are trapped in a cosmic casino where the chips are made of your own life force, and the doors are locked from the inside by your own trauma. You cannot outsmart a system that is actively generating the thoughts you're using to try and outsmart it. You might now be thinking, if I know this is happening, I can simply choose differently. I will just think positive thoughts, raise my vibration, and force the loop to break. This is the ultimate spiritual trap. Your conscious realization is completely useless against the biological chains that bind you. The Matrix does not just hijack your fleeting thoughts. It weaponizes your very anatomy against you. The echo cannot be defeated by the mind, because the conscious mind is exactly where the parasite lives and breeds. We must now address the most insidious weapon ever deployed against human consciousness, the modern, industrialized spiritual movement. You have been sold a glittering, toxic lie known as the law of attraction. You are told that your reality is shaped simply by thinking positive thoughts, that by staring at a vision board and repeating hollow affirmations, you can command the universe to deliver your desires. This is not just a misunderstanding of physics. It is the inverted octave, a mechanism where positive thinking is actually destroying your reality. To understand why this fails so violently, you must realize that the universe does not hear the words you speak, nor does it care about the desires of your conscious mind. The matrix only responds to the absolute and yielding truth of your nervous system. You are attempting to paste a thin, fragile layer of positive affirmations over a rotting, traumatized foundation. The healing deception teaches that trying to fix yourself is the answer. But in reality, this desperate attempt to fix yourself is actively feeding the matrix. Trauma is not merely a bad memory stored in the filing cabinet of your brain. It is a dense, physical entity. It is a biological frequency locked deep within your fascia, your organs, and your nervous system. Your body keeps the score, and it broadcasts that score continuously into the quantum field. This unresolved pain creates a massive magnetic anchor that holds your soul firmly in its current timeline. You cannot break a magnetic anchor with a positive thought, just as you cannot stop a speeding train by simply wishing it to halt. When you force your mind to generate a high-frequency thought of abundance or love, but your body is vibrating at the low, dense frequency of terror or unworthiness, you do not raise your vibration. You create a catastrophic biological collision. This is the somatic short circuit. You are slamming to diametrically opposed electrical currents into each other. The resulting friction does not liberate you. It burns out your internal wiring, ensuring the echo returns with even greater devastation. This is the manifestation trap. By desperately attracting wealth or love, you are paradoxically anchoring your soul even deeper into the archonic gate. Every time you loudly affirm I am wealthy or I am safe, your traumatized nervous system silently screams, no, you are not, and we are in danger. The universe hears the scream, not the affirmation. The matrix reads the underlying vibration of your desperation, and it dutifully delivers circumstances that mirror that exact lack. Watch what happens in your body right now as we dissect the solution. Think about the last time you tried incredibly hard to change your life, to force a positive outcome, or to manifest a different timeline. Do you remember the profound, crushing weight that followed? Notice the sudden wave of sleepiness that might be washing over you right now as you read these words. This is not normal fatigue. This is the lethargy virus. The matrix deliberately makes you exhausted. This lethargy is a narcotic trap designed to drain your battery the moment you threaten to break out of your assigned frequency. When the ego realizes that your manifestation attempts are creating a somatic short circuit, it floods your system with cortisol and exhaustion protocols. It paralyzes you with lethargy so you do not have the escape velocity required to actually break the magnetic loop of your trauma. Furthermore, you have been taught that suppressing your anger and despair is necessary to remain high vibe. This is thought's forbidden alchemy in reverse. Suppressing your anger is actually powering the matrix. Anger is a highly volatile, transformative fuel. When you swallow it down to maintain a facade of toxic positivity, you compress a biological spring inside your chest. The matrix harvests the pressure of that suppression, using your unexpressed rage as the very glue that holds your simulated reality together. You do not attract what you want. You attract what you are at a cellular level. If your cells are vibrating with the memory of betrayal, if your nervous system is biologically wired to expect abandonment, no amount of journaling or visualizing will save you. The physical pain you feel during these cycles, the tightness, The chronic aches is the somatic alchemy of your body trying to process this dissonance. It is the skip reflex breaking down into physical symptoms because the lie you are telling yourself is incompatible with the truth your body is holding. To shatter the echo phenomenon, you must completely abandon the manifestation trap. You must stop trying to paint over the rust of your trauma with cheap, positive gloss. The universe demands absolute authenticity, even if that authenticity is pure, unadulterated darkness. Breaking the loop does not require more effort. It requires a terrifying surrender to the void. It requires a specific, counterintuitive protocol that the system prays you never discover. The architecture of your prison is now visible. You understand that your suffering is an echo, a localized frequency distortion harvested by an unseen system. The question now is not how do I escape, but rather, how do I stop feeding the machine? You cannot fight the matrix with the same mind that it built for you. Action, resistance, and desperate attempts to change your circumstances only create more friction, generating the exact loop the system desires. The ultimate weapon against the archonic cycle is not combat. It is profound, terrifying stillness. Bentov called this the still point. When a pendulum reaches the absolute peak of its swing, right before it reverses direction, there is a microsecond where time and space cease to exist. It hangs in the void. In this infinitesimal gap, the pendulum is free from the laws of momentum. To break the echo phenomenon, you must learn to exist within this still point. You must master what we will call the recognition protocol. The protocol begins with the establishment of recognition windows. You must train yourself to observe the matrix without interacting with it. When the familiar pain arrives, when the partner betrays you again, when the bank account hits zero, when the soul-crushing lethargy washes over you, your default programming is to panic, to fix, to despair, or to run. You must do none of these things. Instead, you must perform the linger test. When the trigger hits, freeze. Do not speak. Do not react. Do not attempt to reframe the situation positively. Simply linger in the exact center of the discomfort. Feel the viscosity of the heavy, dark emotion flooding your system. Watch the physical sensations, the tight chest, the shallow breath, the burning in your throat as if you are a scientist observing a chemical reaction in a beaker. You are the observer, not the reaction. This is the forbidden art of existing between two heartbeats. By observing the pain without identifying with it, you starve the echo of its energetic return. The matrix sends the trigger, expecting the usual explosion of frantic, low-frequency loosh. But instead, you offer it nothing but the cold, silent vacuum of the still point. The algorithm becomes confused. The system requires a response to maintain the magnetic loop. When you deny it that response, the loop begins to disintegrate. Watch what is happening inside your mind right now. You are likely feeling a surge of anxiety or resistance to this idea. The ego is screaming that doing nothing is dangerous, that if you don't fight back, you will be destroyed. This is the ultimate deception. The ego believes it is protecting you, but it is actually protecting its own food source. The anxiety you feel is not yours. It is the parasite realizing you are about to cut the supply line. You must learn to read the synchronistic magnetism of your reality. Coincidences are not random. Jung called them glitches in the matrix. They are the coding language of the simulation. When you hold the still point, you will begin to notice patterns with terrifying clarity. You will see how a specific thought you have always triggers a specific external event. You will recognize the archonic interference trying to pull you back into the drama. When you observe these synchronicities from the still point, you neutralize them. You are no longer the actor on the stage, blindly reciting the script. You are the director, sitting in the dark theater, watching the play unfold. The echo will continue to shout for a time. The system will throw even larger, more dramatic crises at you in a desperate attempt to force the reaction. It will test your resolve. But if you hold the line, if you maintain the brutal, silent observation of the linger test, the echo will eventually lose its power. A pendulum without momentum eventually comes to a dead stop. This is not a process of healing. It is a process of systematic detachment. You are methodically unplugging the biocircuitry that the Matrix uses to siphon your soul. The Void's revenge is your ultimate weapon. Silence is not weakness. It is the complete withdrawal of your consent to be found. When you stop providing the fiction, the simulation cannot maintain its grip on your timeline. The heavy, dark fluid of your traumatized consciousness begins to thin. The radio dial finally unsticks. And for the first time in your existence, you are ready to transmit a completely new signal. The moment the echo finally collapses is not marked by a sudden explosion of light or a choir of angels. It is marked by a profound, almost eerie emptiness. The heavy, rotting scaffolding of your familiar suffering simply dissolves into the ether. The people and situations who once drained your life force look at you, find no energetic hook to grab onto, and silently drift away. You are no longer a vibrational match for their thick viscosity. This is the absolute 0 point of your sovereignty. You have starved the parasite and stopped the pendulum dead in its tracks. By refusing to react to the Matrix's relentless provocations, you have successfully overwritten the biological code that kept you chained to the cyclical farm. The universe, acting as the blind, mathematical mirror that it is, must now reflect this terrifying, beautiful stillness back to you. The simulation has lost its frequency lock on your soul. You are standing at the threshold of a completely unwritten timeline, unburdened by the echoes of your past. Notice the sensation in your body right now, that expansive, weightless feeling replacing the usual constriction in your chest. The dread of the unknown you might feel is not anxiety. It is the sheer, unadulterated power of a consciousness that has just ripped its consent away from the archonic architects. You are no longer a battery. You are the architect. Do not mourn the death of the artificial self that kept you safe in the familiar darkness. That identity was nothing more than a carefully constructed cage. Step into the silent void with the ruthless pride of a hostage who has finally dismantled the lock from the inside. The echo is dead. The magnetic loop is broken. The cosmic broadcast is finally yours to command. You have survived the alchemy of the fire. Welcome to the outside.